Okay, we're live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another, what did I call I tagged the hangout tonight. Unstoppable Mentoring? Something like
There
that.
you go. That's a good one.
I always like to kind of have a name for the weekly hangouts. Anyway, welcome to our weekly Tuesday evening hangout with the Unstoppable Mamas. I am one half, Susan Bachelder, in case you don't know me, and I'm here with Tammy Montgomery. Hey, Tammy.
Hey, Susan. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. So before we get into the chit chat, I'm going to just state our topic tonight. Make sure you stay till the end because truly the tips or steps, whichever way, we're going to kind of present them in both ways as tips to making money and steps. So they're tips, but we've got them set up in step format because that's just the way that people consume them or relate to them the best. So again, it's on purpose, like we do everything else. So anyway, it's we broke it down into 5 tips or steps to making money. And the title of this video says Making Money with 200 Cash Creation. And that's our product that we made together. But essentially, you can take this and we'll kind of go in and explain the steps and how you could use it for anything. But you can take this whole methodology, these tips, these steps, and use it in any service, product, or opportunity that you're promoting. And that's our whole vision with everything, actually, that we share, all the value that we share, the training and the coaching and the mentoring that we share with people is so that you can use it. It's duplicatable in any scenario. A lot of actually what we share with you, you can even apply it to your personal life. So yeah, 5 tips or steps to making money with X, Y, and Z, or with us in 200 Cash Creation. And we're gonna keep it real simple, straightforward, to the point, because we actually have we've both simultaneously got lots of stuff going on in the background in our personal world. But like Tammy was just saying before we went live, the reason why we love the freedom of this kind of business is we can just kind of infuse it within our daily lives. It's our freedom to deal with the chaos and everything that goes on. But there's sometimes that you have to be predictable and accountable and show up when you say that you're going to show up on a regular time to build your foundation, expand your brand, and show people that you are that you do show up. It's important to show up. So we're showing up. We're being accountable tonight, even though we really are squeezed for time. So we're going to keep it short. Anyway, from there, Tammy.
Absolutely. Boy, it's so hard to pick up after you start talking because it's just I'm like, okay, Susan's doing such a great job. I could listen to you all night. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for holding these. Like I've said in the past, it's always a lot of fun, and these hangouts, I like sharing them with people. And the thing about it is, like Susan said, yeah, we have a ton of stuff going on in the background, but you know what? We're unstoppable. And that's the thing, I've been self-employed for 26 years. And so, hey, I've been through, gosh, who knows, just tons of stuff, right? But the beautiful part about being self-employed and having your own business like Susan and I have now in our own company that we're building here is that we can have that time freedom and that financial freedom that we desire, for our friends and our family. So let's say we have to leave or we have an emergency or something like that. We can still have our system literally doing all the telling and selling and working in the background. And I know that may sound strange or that may sound inconceivable to people if you've never heard of this kind of system or you've never really experienced the money, because it all boils down to money. So we're going to give you some 5 tips tonight. So if you've never experienced that before, then we're going to just kind of crack open our brain tonight. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I do. Like, for instance, just every single day, because it is your business. You have to work on your business, not necessarily in your business. But the cool part about it is being able to work with Susan. She takes care of the capture pages and the branded part. And then, of course, I do the sales part. So it's kind of cool that her and I can work together on this. And that's what we're building, is we're building a big, almost like an empire. That's our vision for this. So, but anyway, getting right down to it is number one is, as I've said this before, and I'll say it again, in order to implement those 5 steps and tips, you have to treat this like a business. You can't treat it like a hobby. And I think so many times people, you know, they'll get into a business or a home-based business, and then they'll say, you know what, gosh, I want to watch whatever, American Idol tonight, you know, and I'll put that off till, you know, till tomorrow. And then I'll get to that till, you know, tomorrow. And then tomorrow something else comes up. Like I said, Susan and I have a lot, and she said, we have a lot going on, but we always make sure that our business, it comes first, because otherwise we can't do that other stuff in the background. We can't afford those other things in the background. So our focus is always lead generation. Focusing on lead generation and money-making activities, because if you sit there and you think that sharpening your pencil is actually going to get you business and that's actually going to pay your bills, you're sadly mistaken. So that's just kind of what I wanted to kind of start out with. And so we've outlined in this product, we've outlined literally step by step, from teaching you how to get your what we call a sales funnel set up, how to get your capture pages, your AWeber, all that kind of inner working stuff that Susan, you know, has put together here. So we show you the exact steps. So in other words, it's the same system that we have. In other words, we're not saying to do something else over here. We're actually showing you what we're doing to make these sales, like literally, okay? And we have team members that, you know, make sales on autopilot. It's just really super exciting to hear those stories, isn't it, Susan? I mean, I get jazzed every time, you know, and that's the thing is like, that's for me, that's my passion, is seeing other people make money. And that's just, you know, satisfying to me. But the other thing, and I'll let Susan go into this part because she explains it so well, is consuming her video product. And I still listen to it, Susan, a lot. You don't know that, but like when I'm doing my DMO at night, you know, like from like, you know, 11 to 2, that's just my time of night that it's quiet in the house. So I'll have her videos like running in the background so I can hear and I can then implement them. So, so yeah, that's just, you know, I'm always educating myself. And so of course I'm a product of the product. So, but the other thing is, like I said, Susan, you can take over number 2, but having that effective, again, that routine. And I've talked about routines quite a bit, and, you know, successful people have routines. And if you get off of a routine, like, oh, let's say you fall off of a diet, for instance, you know, or whatever, I'm just thinking real life stuff, then you just get right back on it. So let's say you did watch American Idol tonight or whatever. I don't know what's on TV, Susan, because I don't watch TV. So I'm just throwing it out there. But I'm just saying you have to have your DMO. So today, I even did my DMO today. You know what I'm saying? And I have a bunch of stuff going on. We're leaving tomorrow out of town on vacation. So, you know, so I had a lot of stuff I had to get ready, you know, family ready for. But I still managed to find time to take 60 to 90 minutes to do some lead generation. So, and then number 4 is kind of the same thing that we have, is take, you know, consistent daily action. That's kind of the one and the same. Number 5, of course, is our favorite. We'll save that after Susan goes over the number 2. Number 5 is real cool too. I like how you explain that, number 5. And I'll pass the mic over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. The thing about number 5 is, I think that's one of those things that's the missing piece. The like, people don't cross the bridge because they're not doing that. So that's really key.
Exactly.
Yeah. So number 2, you want me to talk about number 2. So in referring to it in specific to 200 cash creation, I noted it as consume the product because the value in the product shows you how to increase your reach, your resonance, and your relevance. I call those the 3 magic R's. I'll touch on them in a little bit. And your conversions. So, and the reason why that is duplicatable to any service, product, or opportunity, you can just shift that and use that in anything that you're doing, is because you have to. It doesn't matter what you're doing, even if you don't think you're selling something. It doesn't matter what you're doing for work, for business, for relationship building. You have to reach the right people. And you have to be talking about or sharing information or products or services that are relevant to what they need, whether you are tapping into a problem that they have, whether you want to be a solution to a problem that they have, or whether you have something that can enhance their life or enhance their freedom or enhance their leisure. It doesn't matter what your product or service does. It needs to be relevant to them, or they're not going to consume it anyway. So that's very important to know how to present it so that it is relevant, who to reach, and how do you resonate with them? How do you communicate that it makes sense? How do you communicate that what you have is what they need or want? So that's why I call them the magic R's, because often people are looking for copy and paste or hype or all these other trickery to make their business work. But if you just step back, calm down, and really consume the product, you realize that it's much more simple than all that. You don't have to do the hoorah, buy this. You just have to figure out what message will make them go, oh, yes, I do need that. Or yes, please, I want that. You want them to want to buy from you. And so that's why it's so important. And within the product, we teach you that. And in these Hangouts, we're always going to be dropping golden nuggets of how to increase that. So that's why it's in the product. It teaches you how to do that. And then you can take that and use it with anything else. So that's kind of why this product is essentially, we've been talking really a lot about irreplaceable or linchpin lately, Tammy and I. So that's why we have kind of tagged or described this product as the bridge or a gateway to your next level. It's really truthful in saying that, because if you get this, if you really consume it and get the concepts and get the strategy, you can use it. You can use it in your personal life to make huge changes with either your health, mindset, all sorts of personal improvements. You can use it to improve relationships. You can use it to improve your sales. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of why number 2 is really, it's kind of a deep one. It's got layers in there.
It's a deep one, yeah.
So consume it. So to lighten it up and not go that deep for number 2, it doesn't matter what product you have. So number 1 was set up, and it doesn't matter what you start. You need to be set up. You need to know what your links are. You need to know the steps that you're supposed to do. You have to have your information in place. Just follow the exact steps always to have yourself really set up before you start running. Sometimes we're really eager and excited and we want to start running, but then if we haven't set things up properly, we'll get stumped or stalled, or things just won't work right. So take the time and really do a good setup. And then, so that's number 1, be set up really well. And number 2, get to know your product. So if it isn't to do with, consuming and really learning 200 cash creation, if we're referring to something else, get to know what it is that you're working with and get really familiar with the language that best describes it, and really think about who your target audience, who would be interested in it. That is just, I think anyway, a really important number 2 if you want to make money with anything that you're doing.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's actually that's an excellent point, Susan. If you don't mind if I just comment on that, what you just said. Like, I'll see people like literally wondering why, like when people call them and they start asking questions like why they're not making sales. And I'm like, well, have you ever studied any of the material? Have you ever studied any of the training? Have you ever just sat down and done what Susan just said and what I recommend? Like literally, it doesn't take that long for especially this product to understand it. Like, what is there, like, I'm trying to think how many videos I have them open on my desktop, but there's like 7 or 8. And honestly, like even Mary Beth made a comment, it doesn't take that long to listen to them and to go over them. And that's the thing, is like, you don't have to know everything. I'm not saying that, because obviously the system does all the telling and selling for you, but you have to have it in the back of your mind that you're passionate about it and that you can, you know, pass it along to someone else and recommend it. Does that make sense, Susan?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what you said, because if someone comes in there and then all of a sudden they say, oh, I'm just going to make, you know, 10 million bucks, you know what I'm saying, in the first week, that's not what we're talking about here. You can make really good money, but you have to know what you have in your hands. I'm telling you, if you start listening to the videos, then you'll be like I was, and not be able to sleep at night, because it makes so much sense. It really does. I mean, like, these videos make so much sense, and like the mindset and everything like that, it does change it can change your life. Obviously we have other plans for other stuff. We've already been asked to get other levels. We've already been approached and said, when you're going to have a higher level. So yeah, but yeah, right now we're
coming. It just makes sense to give some higher ticket options for people that want it.
Absolutely. And we'll give more and more of our brain knowledge.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're here for the long haul, so yeah, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
I was going to say something off of what you just said, and then it just left my brain. Well, maybe it'll come.
I'll probably start talking and then it'll come back. But I had to say that in between, because what you said just makes so much sense. You have to sit down and take that time. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're kind of like I just think you explained it so well. The actual, you know, the reach, you know, who you're talking to. I mean, and even you've said my videos are way different now, and they are. Like, I'll look back on some of them and I'm like, I want to take those down, you know, compared to what I have out there now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you talk to people in a way, and you set that intention before your video, and you know who you're talking to and what you're talking about, they feel like you're talking to them. Just last week again, I had a lady that we used to work together quite a bit. She was a student of mine, and then we haven't had much contact for, I don't know, a few months anyway. So she said, I was just thinking to myself, geez, I'd like to connect with Susan, have a visit with Susan. And just then, that day or the day before, I had posted a video, which I'll admit, for the last 2 weeks, I have not done my videos. Definitely not daily. I am behind on my videos, but I'm buried behind the scenes a little bit. So I will come back and do videos to be a good model.
Well, you've just been slightly busy with the website stuff, Susan. You gotta give yourself a credit.
So anyway, she popped into my inbox because she said she had just been thinking, geez, I'd like to connect with Susan, whatever thought she was having. And then she saw the video, she listened to the video, and it was one of my short, like, video tips videos. And then she said, the funny thing is after I watched your video, I felt like I had a visit with you, because you were talking to me, right? And so that is, and anybody can do it. Like, that's nothing special about me. It's not unique to me. I mean, I am kind of quirky and weird, yes, but we all are. Anybody can do this. Like, this is very duplicatable. Everything in the product, anybody can do it. Anybody. It's very simple.
Yes, I agree. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, like I said, just the one video I did, I think it was, what was it, Sunday or Monday? I don't know, but everybody's like, wow, you were talking to me.
Yes, I think it was Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
Yeah, okay. It was just so real. Yeah, like, that was your first video that I really felt like, I mean, because you and I were working all the time, we're talking, and so I know how you talk to me, and I felt in that video it was so personal that the essence of you was radiating through that video, like when just you and I are talking. So that was awesome, Tammy.
Wow, thank you. See, wow, see, I'm learning. I'm a student, and that's the thing where you're. And Susan's learning my direct response marketing. So that's That's the cool part. And you have both. I mean, you have where you can generate fast leads. I mean, Susan's an expert with solo ads and clicks and oh my gosh, I mean, just the knowledge Susan has with that. And so, I mean, the combination of both of us is a great curve, and in the learning curve, shorter learning curve, I should say. But the other thing is too is like, gosh, I just lost my train of thought too. We're doing this tonight.
I'm so glad it doesn't happen to just me.
No, it's me too. But I think the reason I did that video is because it was Sunday, and I can just think about all these people going to their 9-to-5 job that don't want to go to their 9-to-5 job. That's what was in my mind. So that's who I was talking to. I'm like, you know, I keep saying I've been self-employed for 26 years, which I have. Not all those years were, of course, all glorious, right? But I'm just saying, you know, when you put your mind to it and you really focus, we've talked about this before, you really focus on one thing at a time, and you're not all around, you know, trying to throw spaghetti at this wall here, that wall there, and you just focus down into one business and one, you know, income stream, get that up and running, and then you can always layer on another one. But I'm just saying, like with the internet marketing business, you can take it anywhere. I'm taking my business with me on vacation. I'm going to be signing up people and because my funnel's set up. So, you know, so like, why not live life on your own terms? You know, why not live life on your own terms? Why be stuck in a cubicle? You know, Susan and I are not stuck in a cubicle. We're in our homes. So that's what I was just trying to project. And I just really think that it comes down to these 5 tips that we're talking about tonight. Honestly, it's not rocket science. It's really not. No. We're not doing anything that other internet marketers do. Like Susan said, it's that hypey, flashy stuff out there. That's great, but how long is that gonna last? Like, you know. So, and with I'm just gonna go a little advanced here, a little bit, okay. But when people get into like that hype, and then it's gonna die down and all that kind of stuff, then they gotta get into something else. I've seen a lot of people do this, and they'll actually burn their list out, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like they'll join one program this week and they'll market it. They'll hit their list, and then next week you'll see them on Facebook doing something else, and they'll have 4 and 5 income streams. The person, their prospect, won't even keep track. They won't even be able to keep track of what they're doing. Honestly, yep. That's no way to really run a 6-figure business. Yep. If you want a 6-figure business, it might be a 4-figure business or a 5-figure, but I doubt it will be a 6-figure business because people watch what people are doing. I have people that joined me 2 years ago that said, finally, I'm ready to pull the trigger with you, Tammy. 2 years ago, they came into my, what is it? Sphere, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Inner circle or sphere, yeah.
Inner circle, yeah. Yep. I'm not saying that's how long people take to join. I'm just saying that's how, you know, they know that I'm specialized in the member-to-member industry.
And that's one of the things that I believe in, and this is that point that I forgot earlier that I was going to bridge off of what you were saying. And sometimes it takes a little bit to make that shift, like to really understand what we're talking about. You do have to make a shift from opportunity seeker to an entrepreneur. Like you have to be thinking bigger. You have to be have a vision, have a solid why, be able to make goals and stick to them. Like you have to be a big thinker to be able to kind of get what we're talking about. And it is a process. Like it's a part of the journey. It's not something that you just like, oh, and you learn it in 2 seconds and then you run with it. I mean, some people I think innately have the entrepreneur mindset, but if you're just like, I need to make money, if that's the only thing on your mind, then you're an opportunity seeker. So you're going to want those hypey, flashy things, and you're going to be switching from one to another. And sometimes people need to do that to make their first couple $100 or whatever, so that they can invest in a solid foundation or a solid platform to start their sustainable growth or whatever the case is. But this stuff, what we're discussing, does require you to make that shift from an opportunity seeker to an entrepreneur, like where you really, like Tammy, how you started out with, Tammy, and just you really take your business seriously and you are a boss.
Yes, I'm the CEO of my own company. I'm me Inc.
Exactly, and that's really important, and that leads us into point number 5, kind of.
Yes, it does. I like point number 5.
Yeah. So, do you want to deliver point number 5?
Do I?
Yeah. This is how we begin the hangout too. Okay, who's starting?
Yeah, yeah. That's always like, yeah, you guys don't see that. It's fun. I can talk about what point number 5 means to me, and then you can, how about you share what point number 5 means to you?
Maybe.
On your end, because maybe.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Okay, point number 5 is basically evaluating your profit. I mean, that's the thing, is like when you're in business for yourself, you got to see what you're putting out and how much you're bringing in. So in other words, you know, Susan's great as far as on the statistic side, conversions, things like that. And then I look at like numbers like, okay, for every 20 opt-ins, pretty much there's a sale coming in. That's how I've run it for 6 years, Susan. Like I know almost consistently for the target market that we're going in, I'm getting better with tracking, but I'm just saying, like, if I see 20 opt-ins, I know I'm gonna get a sale. If I see 20 opt-ins, I know it's almost like this. It's almost like clockwork, like literally, honestly. And if I've talked to 10 people, for me personally, I'm up to the closing ratio of 8. Does that make sense? It used to be 2. So I'm always working on my metrics, is what they call it. And that's a little bit deeper, and that's in some of the sales material I'll discuss in another level, actually, at a higher level. Yeah. So I'm just giving people like the Reader's Digest version tonight. But I just know consistently, like this stack of people, you know, I'm actually taking on the vacation, okay? I know that for X amount of leads that Susan and I push through, especially the simple price point of $200, then I will know exactly what we're going to make. And Susan knows that I'm always about the numbers and the money end. So that's what you want to shoot for, is like that kind of profit. That makes sense. And in the marketing methods between the free and then the paid methods that her and I do personally, and then what we're teaching the team, it's very, very low overhead for the kind of money you can make. If your goal is $10,000 a month, then you're going to be pushing through X amount of leads. So you can kind of figure that out. We can't get real specific because we don't know you. Like we don't know your time, we don't know your budget, but things like that. So that's my number 5. Like in other words, the money, the actual, how it's coming through, the overall conversions.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very similar to mine. And I'll touch on tracking. First of all, there's no right or wrong way to track. It's just the point of tracking what you're doing and how it's working is so that you know, like if you do A, does it lead to B, and did it lead to E, F, G, or did it lead to C where you wanted it to go? Like, so in other words, what you're doing, is it working? And if not, you go back and evaluate it. And right from the beginning to right from creating whatever it is, your sales copy, putting your ad copy out there or whatever, are you getting clicks on it? Are those clicks turning into leads? Are you following up with them? How well is your follow-up going? And then how many are closing to sales? Like the whole, right from beginning to end, evaluate how every process, everything that you're doing, so that you're not throwing spaghetti on the wall.
Yeah.
And if you see something working really well, do more of that. If you see something that's not working, don't do that anymore, or fix it, or do it differently. And so it's the whole thing of the wheels on the bus turning around and around all the time so that you can create your forward momentum. So keep things going all the time with that daily consistent action that Tammy mentioned, daily method of operation, daily action plan. And then always be evaluating it. What's working? How well is it working? And where can I increase? How do you know how to scale up or do more ads if you don't know what ads are working? So you have to think about that and think about what that's working like. I know exactly where I need to improve right now, and that's with my closing. So whenever Tammy is talking about closing, I listen very closely because I know that that is where I leave money on the table.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like with this system, Susan, like, I think I've only had to talk to one.
That was on purpose, and I'm glad that it's working.
Because Susan's sales copy in the video that we did together is so awesome that I've only talked to one. People will text me or email me, you know, and I'll always CC Susan in on the email just so she knows and she sees the emails, responses and stuff. But yeah, I've only had to talk to one, Susan.
There you go. There you go. And the new sales video, I just put it up last night, so it's gonna improve even more.
Oh, good. I can't wait to see that. I'm excited. Can't wait to see that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, and if you want more, I just have to say this because this is me. This is the closing coming out in me, I guess. If you want more stuff from Susan and I, get a hold of us because we do have another level. We don't openly advertise it right now. We actually have a couple people that's, you know, that we're mentoring, but we do have a mentoring program. So send me an email, send Susan an email, unstoppablemamas@gmail.com, or go to unstoppablemamas.com if you have not yet. If you have not gone there to our site, you definitely want to check it out. Because like I said, you know, just having the steps, I think that most of the companies, if you're in an MLM or any other business, they are missing these solid foundation, the solid steps that Susan and I have put together. And it's cool because we agree that it has to be, the foundation has to be laid, just like if you were building a house. You have to lay your foundation before you can start building the rest of it. That's just that's as simplistic as I can get for people tonight. So what an awesome hangout as always, Susan. I appreciate you putting these together, and as always appreciate you.
Thanks, Tammy. I super appreciate all the value that you bring. It's just an incredible ride to work with you. So I appreciate you right there. Thank you very much. To all of you watching, if whether you watched it live or the recording, watch it again if you have any questions. Go back and watch it and take notes if you didn't, because I can promise you, if you apply what in this 35 minutes, if you take this seriously and apply it to your business, it's going to create a shift. And I'll say it again, anybody that watches our hangouts or, you know, hears me, I repeatedly say this, but what if one person isn't listening? I don't do hype. I'm allergic to hype. So when I say something with that much impact, I mean it. Like if you do apply this to your life and or your business, it will create a shift. You take it seriously and have steps, like whether it's lists or like communicate with yourself and with your business, and put these effective steps in place, and you'll create yourself a shift, and it's going to be exciting. So I hope you're doing it with us. And there's a link below or on the Hangout page, the button. Head on over there and check out the new sales video and let us know what you think.
Absolutely. And bye. I have to say that, right? Bye. No, actually, we're going to be shortly. We won't be handing out those branded pages for free. So it's going to, what is the date? The 11th? Yeah, it's coming up close. So whoever wants to jump in before the actual prices change.
Yeah, exactly. We said by the 15th, the 20th at the latest. So really, you just have a few days. And if I get too busy, then it just won't happen. So if you want those branded funnels, just stop sitting on the fence and take some action. It's only $200 to change your life.
Exactly.
There, I did some closing.
Yay! And we're also going to give you $1,100 in extra bonuses. You got to look at the sales page though.
Yeah.
But they're real and it's there. So.
Exactly. I don't even have all the testimonials up there. Anyway, stay in touch.
Wow.
It's not perfect. We're just keep on getting it.
We gotta add those. Yeah. I mean, testimonials, they keep pouring in. So it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Some days.
Exactly. Okay, well, good night, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same bat channel, same bat page.
Exactly. I might be doing one in Florida, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I might be sitting out on the porch.
Oh, that would be nice with a palm tree waving.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just have a different background next Tuesday. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, cool. See everybody on the beach.
Yeah, good night.